The next one is the data governance. For that purpose, I would like to call Mr. Azhar Sb, the member of Presidential Committee for the Emerging Technologies from the government sector. So please come on to the stage and share your thoughts with the audience. Thank you.
Of Pakistan, and I'm a member of many committees of the government. So after clarifying that, my topic is data governance. Now, what is data governance? There's nothing new about data governance. It is thousands of years old. There was a guy who was a project manager many thousands of years ago, and he was given a project. And when he was given a project, he was confused. You are? Okay. So he wanted help. So the first question, the first help he wanted from the program manager, he said, Rabbi shrah li sadri, wa yassir li amri. So he was confused. He wanted help from his boss. So the first question he asked that he wanted to discover the data that was involved in the project. So the first part of data governance is data discovery. You must know what data is there out there. And the problem is that in most companies today, hardly 5% of the data that they should have has been discovered. So the first thing in data governance is data discovery. So when that project manager, this is the second thing that he demanded was what is this? This is, जैसे कि उन्होंने कहा था मिन्हाज साहब ने कि डेटा इस काबिल तो हो कि उसको इस्तेमाल किया जा सके. So that was the second thing that the project manager wanted, that the data that he gets and the data that he gives out should be understandable. So these are the two basic elements of data governance. Number one, all the data should be discovered. And number two, when the data is discovered, it should be managed, maintained, kept in a form that it is usable. So these are the two aspects of data governance. Nothing new about it, just thousands of years old. So let's see what is the modern definition of data governance. ISO 8000-2, which was revised a few months ago, gives the definition. It says that it is the development and enforcement. Development and enforcement of what? Of policies. Which policies? Related to the management of data. Now, this is a typical ISO definition, and ISO definitions tend to be very vague. They tend to be, they have to accommodate everything. And that's why this definition is very vague. What is wrong about it? The first thing that is wrong about it is, why only policies? Why not other things? Right? That's the first question that has to be asked. The second question that has to be asked is, why only development and enforcement? Now this does not agree with the definition of governance by ISO itself. When you look at ISO 37000, 37000 says that there are three parts of governance. The first is instruction, the second is monitoring, and the third one is you have to see that everybody is doing the work properly. So that's the third question. Oversight. Why is oversight not there? So these are the three main problems with this definition. So that's why, based on my 43 years of experience, I've come up with my own definition of data governance, and that is like this. Data governance is, now I've added one term, is the development, enforcement, and oversight. It has to be three things, and then this is based on the definition of governance taken from ISO 37000. So three things: development, enforcement, and oversight. Of what? Of data, policies, and programs. Policies is not enough. We have programs, we have projects. They have to be developed, they have to be enforced, and we have to do oversight on them. Now this is not enough. These have to be adjectives. They have to be defined how to do this. So the development, enforcement, and oversight has to be mandated and authorized. Mandated by whom? Mandated by the board. Unless it is mandated by the board, you have to have a charter. Just like you've got a charter for audit, you've got to have a charter for data governance. And it has to be authorized. They have to be authorized to do data governance. Now, why is this important? Okay, let's step back a little. In any organization, there are three types of assets. The first asset is the tangible assets, जिनमें पैसा लगा हुआ होता है. The buildings, the cars, the tables, the chairs. So those are the tangible assets. The second type of assets are the human assets. Insan, employees, owners, partners, contractors. उनकी physical existence. That's the second aspect. The second type of asset. The third type of asset is the knowledge, which is based on the data of that organization. जो पहली दो तरह के जो assets हैं, they can be bought, they can be sold, they can be enhanced, but not the information, not the data. Data पैदा होता है और गायब हो जाता है. So that is the most valuable knowledge, and that knowledge is not captured enough. It is not managed enough. So that is why we have to have managed collaboration. Of what? Managed collaboration to deliver consistent, trusted, and meaningful data value. So this is the definition of data governance. So whatever data is created in the organization, it has to be captured, and it has to be managed, and it has to be governed. So this is a very comprehensive definition that I've been using for so many years in my projects. Okay, but the question is, how is this to be done? This is to be done through structures. And the first structure that you should have is a data committee. Now, what is a data committee and who should it respond to? Any ideas? Who should the data committee respond to? Report to? Okay, when we look at the three types of assets, finance, who does, board की जो meeting होती है तो उसमें हर meeting में finance का कोई ना कोई agenda item होता है, right? और CEO के पास सबसे ज़्यादा finance का CFO जाके उसका दिमाग खाता है, right? 5 दफ़ा कम से कम जाता है, उससे जाके दिमाग खाता है, और जो लेके जाता है फौरन sign करा के ले आता है. The CEO doesn't even ask कि क्या है, वो sign कर देता है. The second person who is a menace is the head of HR. Head of HR भी दिन में कम से कम 2 दफ़ा CEO के पास जाता है और साइन करा के ले आता है. ठीक है? The third, which is the most valuable asset, and that is data. उसका कोई जिम्मेदारी नहीं है. Right? Somebody has to be responsible for the most valuable asset in the organization. Who is he? Right? CIO. CIO तो मिस्त्री है. CIO का तो काम है गाड़ी को ठीक करना, उसमें तेल डालना, उसको चालू रखना, उसमें पानी है कि नहीं गाड़ी के अंदर. राइट? CIO को जितना दूर रखे डेटा से उतना डेटा अच्छा रहेगा. CIO is not responsible for data. He is just the custodian of data. So who is responsible for data? Who is the owner of data? The business. The business. But who is ultimately responsible for data? Because it's an asset of the company. So asset के जिम्मेदार कौन है? Owner जिम्मेदार है ना? Who are represented by the board. So the board is responsible for the data. कि वो data जो है सारा capture हो और सारा manage हो. So the data committee has to respond. Finance committee किसको report करती है? Board को, right? HR committee किसको report करती है? Board को. So why should data committee not report to the board? So there should be a data committee which should be a committee of the board, which should report to the board. So this is the first thing which has to be implemented in data governance. अगर ये नहीं होगा तो data governance नहीं हो सकती. आप जितने अच्छे आप data analyst ले आएं, जितने अच्छे आप Python programmers ले आएं, जितने अच्छे आप AI कर लें, नहीं काम चलेगा. क्योंकि जैसे कि मिनहाज साहब ने कहा कि वो data इस काबिल नहीं है कि उसको इस्तेमाल किया जा सके. Right? So this is the first thing that you should have. Should have a very strong data committee reporting to the board. उस data committee को चलाने के लिए chief data officer होना चाहिए. Who should not report to whom? Any ideas? Who should not report to whom? पहले नहीं की बात कर लें, फिर हाँ की बात करेंगे. He should not report to the CIO because there is a conflict of interest. Who should not report to the business. He should report to at least the CEO. Otherwise, there will be a conflict of interest. So, he should have a chief data officer who should not be an IT person. क्योंकि जो IT वाला बंदा होता है, वो फौरन जो है वो टेबल्स की बात करना शुरू कर देता है और फौरन जो स्टोरेज की बात करना शुरू कर देता है. He doesn't talk about business. So you must have a chief data officer. Chief data officer को help करने के लिए you must have data architects. Data architects कौन लोग होने चाहिए? Any ideas? Who should be data architects? IT के लोग हों या ना हों? Any ideas? It has to be IT. Why? And they understand what? Ji? They understand data, but do they understand the business? No. But see, when you go to a telco, the data architecture of a telco is totally different from the data architecture of a bank, right? So data architecture, IT वाला तो वही होगा जो यहाँ भी होगा, यहाँ भी होगा. So the data architect has to be, okay, at the 0 level and 1 level, at the architecture level of 0, it has to be a business person. Also at the data architecture level 1, it has to be a business person. Level 3, it has to be a business person. Level 4, when you get to the physical layer, there you need an IT person. First 3 layers, उससे IT को दूर रखें. First 3 layers जो है उसमें business के लोग होते हैं because they understand the business. They understand how the different things merge together, how the different things relate to each other. जब वो सब काम कर ले, when you come to the physical layer, at the physical layer, yes, you need an IT person. So data architects should be a combination of business people mostly and some IT people at the to take care of the physical layer. So this is very important. Next, the data stewards. Data stewards की जिम्मेदारी ये है कि वो डेटा को लेकर चले और डेटा की इंश्योर करें कि उसकी क्वालिटी मेंटेन हो रही है और उसकी लाइफ साइकिल पूरी जो है उसको कर रहे हैं. Now, who should these people be? They should be IT, but they should be a bridge between IT and business, right? And the last are the data owners. ये कौन होंगे? These are the business people because they know the data. They know कि data में क्या होना है, क्या नहीं होना. They will define the quality of the data, and that quality will be implemented by the data stewards. Okay, so this is the fourth thing. And then you've got the analytics champion. ये वो लोग हैं जो उस डेटा को इस्तेमाल करते हैं. जब तक कि वो पिछले 4 लोग सही काम नहीं करेंगे, ये बेचारा काम नहीं कर सकता. So to make him do something which is feasible, which makes sense, those 4 people have got to work in a perfect order. So हमारे यहाँ सारा जोर इनके ऊपर है, which is wrong. And this is the area which will become less and less important as we go along. जो इस वक्त पाइथन में जो हो रहा है, जो आजकल सिर्फ पाइथन में हो सकता है, वो चंद साल के बाद स्प्रेडशीट में होना शुरू हो जाएगा. उस वक्त पाइथन प्रोग्रामर की इंपॉर्टेंस कम हो जाएगी. So this is an area which will keep on changing very fast. New and newer tools will keep on coming, and this will be a very radically changing field. Okay, next, something new. Open data champion. Open data is becoming something very important worldwide. हर कंपनी जो होती है अपना कुछ डेटा जो है उसको ओपन कर देती है और उससे बड़ा फायदा होता है उनको. So you have to define which data of yours is open. And for that, you've got to have an open data champion who defines which data is open based on policies given by the board. And of course, you've got to have a policy which should define the management intent, which should define the scope, and which should define the objectives. And this is standard for all ISO standards. हर ISO standard में ये 3 चीजें define करनी होती हैं, so this is nothing special about this. 4 और policies हैं, 2 policies की बात हो चुकी है. The previous speaker talked about privacy policy and information security policy. The first one is document retention policy. This is also very important. especially in banks and telcos. This is very important. Open data policy, Pakistan में अभी तक concept नहीं है probably इसका, but this is going to become very important very soon. So ये 4 policies बहुत लाजमी है to have good data governance. Training and awareness is very important as a part of data governance, and continual training of all the staff should be there. Now the question is government responsibility. Zero. हमारे यहाँ अभी तक कुछ नहीं हुआ. Government में governance में कुछ नहीं हुआ. What they should do is they should define the central responsibility of all the data sets of the government of Pakistan. That has to be defined. They have to define a data governance policy, which has not been done. They have to define the data governance standards, which they've not even started working on. Fourth is they have to define a data governance framework, and they have to define a data architecture of the government. So ये 5 चीजें हैं जो government ने करनी है, and if they don't do it, then the data of the government of Pakistan is going to be in trouble. Thank you. That was it.